On your break today, finally someone has bought what we are selling and quit their job because they were miserable. Friend of the show, Edward, is in studio to tell us what finally pushed him over the edge. All right, time to clock out for lunch. Welcome into Paid Lunch, and thanks for spending your break with us. I'm Heavy D. With me, as always, Zandy P. I'm barely holding his head up. Rhino. Say hi to the hustlers, fellas.
Hello.
Hey. And in studio today, we also have a friend of the show, recently unemployed, Edward.
Yeah. How's it going?
I'm so excited about this. Like, as soon as... The approach first. We'll get to that in just a second. First,
yeah, we've been unemployed. No, we've not had anybody on that's unemployed.
No, we especially someone that's literally followed like the mantra of quit your job. Like it absolutely fantastically fit right into the show schedule. I kind of feel like we almost like if someone approaches us like I'm kind of on the fringe. I don't know what I should do.
Companies hate us. Do companies hate us?
Like we probably should have a better approach than just like trying to kill someone's career for content.
I'm sure there wasn't any pressure.
It's like, what do you think I should do? I'm like, when can we get him on the show?
Yeah, I was like, oh man, everything's going to work out. It's going to be great. Are you free Sunday?
Before we get into all that, I've just been, I don't know why I'm incredibly frustrated today because I really don't want to go to work tomorrow.
You don't have to.
I don't have to, but as it stands right now,
Tell him.
I mean, you don't have to.
Well, I love your fervor, but right now I'm down to one vehicle, and it's not mine. So I'm kind of in that situation. Got a wheel bearing out on one, catalytic converter
just
out on the
adult
other.
Shit, right?
Just everything's broken.
Yeah.
I have no money, so
Rains it pours.
just being an adult.
definitely have to go to work. Don't really have an option here at this point in time. But here's the cool part about it: got a raise.
Hell yeah.
Dude,
That was literally like at the bottom of a pile of shit. So on April 1st, and I'd been calling this for quite some time because the company that I work for has been making a lot of organizational shifts. And I even looked at my boss multiple times. I'm like, when are we going from hourly back to the salary? Because I know it's coming. And she's like, I don't even know why you're worried about that. And then all of a sudden one day she's like, you've got to come back to my office. We got to have a talk. I'm like, salary. She's like, I hate that you're right. I'm like, salary. Knew it was
not
coming.
my first rodeo.
Not my first rodeo. So, and here's what's weird is Edward, you worked with me when we went from salary originally to hourly, and everybody was pissed.
Oh, I was happy about it. That was great.
Some people were, but like me being like the person that's, as someone said last week, corporate bootlicker.
Yeah, you probably love it because you stay till closing every night.
Well, that was my problem at that point in time. It's like, how in the world am I going to get all my shit done? I was used to working like 50-hour weeks. So now, slowly over time, I've actually kind of learned a little bit of like home-work-life balance because it's something I've always sucked really bad at. Now that's all taken away. And the way it's announced is like, yes, we're going through an organizational shift. We want everyone to mirror and look the exact same way, yada, 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 yada. But currently at this point in time, you will maintain your 40 hours or less or around that 40-hour mark. And if you feel like you continue to have issues hitting that 40-hour mark, please work with your direct leadership. Okay. And then it's like ... In the future, I'm like, fuck, here it comes. This could be subject to change, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
I love everything is just subject to change all the time. And you're like, yeah, okay, well then that's obvious. Why did you put it at the end to be like, hey, this is not a permanent thing. We're going to put you on salary right now because it's convenient. But in 6 months, it might be more convenient if we put you on hourly. So we're just going to do that.
I feel like right now it's kind of one of those things too where a lot of people are eating unnecessarily overtime. So that nice little like
Yeah. So all the time.
Milk it.
You're getting kicked over. You're getting like an additional $2,500 a year is the way it works out. I'm like, how much of that did I lose in overtime?
This might surprise you. Might surprise you, but I'm not an overtime guy.
I'm an undertime guy.
Yes. Does that surprise anybody that I don't? They're like, you volunteer for overtime. At the call center we used to work at, they would offer like $500 gift cards, like $500 to come work a shift, and I'd be like, still not worth it. Not worth going to work.
Well, see, there's always those weird moments in time where I would clock in when I was hourly. Like, there was sometimes that still, whatever shit was done off the clock. But, like, shout out Justin on my team calling me at 8 o'clock at night. It's like, dude, I'm going to be stuck on this call till like 11 o'clock at night.
Braveheart.
So I literally, like, will clock in and was, like, watching him, trying to help him progressively get off the call and stuff like that. So that was just overtime that kind of happened, which looked really nice on the paycheck. I just got a bad feeling about this. I know it's just gonna. I give it a month and a half, and I'm gonna be like working 56 hours a week.
They've been teasing you for a few weeks. I don't know if they're gonna fuck you or not soon.
I don't know.
It feels a whole lot like it's a lot of foreplay.
I feel like we need to lead up to some sort of payoff here.
But edge you, you're fine.
Edge, yeah. Well.
That's their whole thing. That's their model to keep.
That's actually probably the company motto.
Perpetual edging.
That's what it kind of feels like.
Is that a like a management style? Perpetual edging.
Kama Sutra.
Yeah.
That's what it kind of feels like.
Most companies are like that though.
But I thought it was interesting though, just like the thought process. That's where my brain's been the whole entire drive here. And then it got me thinking about you, Edward.
Yeah.
It's 5 minutes.
And your
away.
row.
2 minutes.
Do what?
Lives 2 minutes away. The drive here.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, still, it's been in my brain. Plus, there's that red light up there at that bridge now that makes me sit there for about 8.5 minutes.
Forgot
so
you guys.
Fuck you, it's 10 minutes.
I forgot you guys live in a nuclear war zone still.
Yeah. So it's still there. But like I was saying, like, he went from, like, you left, obviously, the company that I work for now. When you left, it was still hourly.
Right. Yep.
The company that you went to was salary.
It was. Yeah.
And from my understanding, boy, howdy, it was a fuckaroo.
It sure
Well,
was.
it just set it up though. It was like you worked for a company. Like the company you worked for before was the company that we all worked together at.
Right. Yeah.
And then that's not the company we're talking about currently that you quit.
Right. Yeah. No.
You quit that one too.
We'll call it
I
Highway.
think you did quit that one too.
Yeah. I did.
We'll call that company Highway.
Highway, yeah. Freeway. 5.
Or as we discussed, we can call it Ike.
You just call it, yeah.
We can call it Ike. So I guess we can do a double whammy here. What made you quit the other one first to go to this?
Well, the first
Money,
one I quit
money,
was money. It was
money.
absolutely money. And then the second one I quit was because I discovered money doesn't really matter if you want to drive your car off a bridge every day.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's why I quit that one.
Yeah, that feels correct.
I mean, is it worth it? Like, no, it's not.
I knew you were going to quit the first one
Yeah.
anyway.
What is the term for that? Like, there is an actual term for that. Like when you're preparing to Dukes a hazard yourself off a bridge, but you don't actually do it. It's like intrusive thoughts.
Yeah,
Is that
that's
the,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I've been having a lot of those.
Drive into oncoming traffic.
It's got to be a middle, but like, yeah. Like I'm not going to drive in front of a train, but if there was a train coming, would I move?
Like if I wasn't in my dad's truck right now, like right now that's probably saving it. Like if I was in my old school roads, like you hear a bridge and you hear like a couple good old boys start playing in your head, and you're like, hit it 65. Maybe we can do a couple barrel rolls.
Make it interesting on the way down, you know?
It's on
Throttle
the border.
down.
It's on the border of just too much. It's too much.
That's just when you know you're freaking miserable, man.
I mean, you're preaching to the choir, though. You know that. But what's funny is something you told me whenever I quit the job, the first job that you quit, was, are you going to go somewhere else and be just as miserable, like doing a similar thing? I was like, well, I won't know for sure. Turns out, aren't you?
Turns out, yeah.
Yours wasn't all that similar. Yours was incredibly freaking similar.
It was, yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I left for, I'm happy with my job. I don't care. I mean, I don't want to work there because I don't want to work anywhere.
Yeah,
But-
I mean, who does really, honestly?
That's why we're here.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you listen to the show, but
somebody says they love their job, they're a damn liar. Like nobody likes.
I've
their
never
job.
believed anybody who ever told me they love coming to
No,
work.
full of shit.
You believe anybody?
Hell no.
I don't know.
Psychopaths.
You can't even get LeBron James to play all his fucking games anymore. And he plays basketball.
If I say shout out LeBron James, does that matter?
I ain't gonna help you none.
Are you sure?
Probably hurts us. If I want to be frank
Moves
about
us
it.
down the list. nobody can hear us or find us on the internet because we said LeBron James. Say COVID though, and we get a COVID tag.
Yeah.
We didn't get one last time. I thought we were going to.
It's because it wasn't in the name of the episode, I think.
Oh no, since the government said it's over.
I still don't think that matters.
Oh.
Could be wrong. I don't know.
So are you happy you quit?
Yes, very much. Nervous about it, but also extremely happy.
Yeah. Go ahead.
What was the buildup? So, like, you left the other one to go to this job. Obviously, it was for more money, right? We all know that. Like, because, I mean, I've lost 3 people to this same company that I manage directly. I've 3 since January, I think January. All 3 are still there. But also, I know of, including you now, 3 to 5 that have left or have unceremoniously been let go with little to no explanation at all whatsoever. So you're there, you start doing the work. At what point are you like, nope, fuck it?
I don't know. It wasn't like a single day. Like it was something that I just thought about for weeks. And then at the end of it, I was like, you know what? I don't have to do this anymore. Like, I hate my life this much. And honestly, and I'm gonna be one of those people. I do not like remote work. I cannot do it. And
Yeah.
I know there's tons of people that
We've
love
talked
it.
about that before, yeah.
Yeah, people love it, and that's great for them. But I want to burn my house down every time.
Depression sets in.
Yeah, like it makes me hate my house, right? Like,
Yeah.
because work is my house.
Yeah. I hated that part of it.
Yeah, I wanted to burn my house down every day. I couldn't stand it.
Well, that's one thing that I always talk to my wife about all the time. Like, she thought it was so weird that, like, I couldn't clock out and then immediately be social. Like, normally I'm a very sociable person, but where I work now, when I'm working on site, it's about a 40-minute drive home. So you got 40 minutes worth of decompression to listen to music, podcasts, whatever you want to get into.
Contemplating drive up bridges.
Yeah.
Listen to Paid Lunch.
Yeah. Especially that now. But it's a completely different world when your wife is already sitting in the same room where your computer is and you clock out and you turn around, you walk 4 feet over. There is no decompression. So you're sitting there and everything's still just kind of motoring through your brain, and she'd be sitting there talking to me. She's like, "You're not even listening to me." I'm like, "No, I'm not. I'm trying." But it's,
I guess something that goes along with, like, you take your work home with you a lot, and I know you do.
oh yeah,
Right. But I guess, like, the benefit of not caring about having a job and, like, not caring about necessarily, I mean, I've never done anything that I was like, yeah, this is really inspiring. It's awesome to do. And I'm not sure I would because I don't care really mostly. Like, I'm there to do my job, and, you know, God forbid I'm there to make money and do my job. That I've never really taken, like, work home with me. I mean, I did have a job where I never got fucking paid. I took that home with me. that sucked.
It's a big ass chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, don't ever work for your friends. But I never took, just kind of don't take it home with me. So, like, work from home was not bad to me that aspect, but it was bad because, like, I felt like I needed to be doing shit when I wasn't, like, actively working doing shit. Like there's, like, laundry that has to be done or something, or you know what I mean, like something outside that I was thinking I had to do.
no, there are some benefits on that side of working at home. But like that
Yeah, but
that
I think
part
that's
is
the
awesome.
worst part too, though, is like you said, like, coming home from it is and I get why somebody would not want to do it at all.
Like sometimes, just work kicks your ass so hard that you drive home in silence in your car, and that's what
Crying.
you need. Yeah, no music, no nothing, just you and dead silence.
Yeah.
But working from home, you don't get that. It's like your personal life and your work life become the same life.
Yeah.
It becomes a melted blob.
Especially when you do the shit where, like, your friends come over and hang out while you're working.
Yeah.
And it's like, really shouldn't do that, but then it's like everything's just blended. Played a lot of Apex when I worked at. Played a lot of Apex when I worked from home, pretty much all the time.
That's fair.
No comment.
No comment.
Yeah.
I can honestly say I didn't play video games and stuff. My biggest distraction was children.
Yeah.
Because, like, God, during the summer months when, like, they're home, it was awful. It's like one's screaming, they're fighting with each other in the background. Like, so you end up, like, I would spend my lunch literally getting my youngest down for
What
a
a
nap.
shitty father.
I feel like Rey Mysterio.
So, Edward, what are you doing now while you quit your job?
Yeah.
So, round of applause there. We got
Oh, nice.
we got that.
Nice
Yeah, we got tricks. You like that?
It's hot.
I don't know how long they were gonna go. Gonna do that. I've been waiting to do that for like 10 weeks. So you got the first applause.
Hell yeah.
So I'm glad you quit your job. And what are you doing now?
Well, I have an interview tomorrow. We're gonna see how that goes.
Is it where I work?
Yeah, it is where you work.
I'll probably quit if you get that
Are you
job.
going to wear a tuxedo like Step Brothers?
Yeah.
I
going
think
with
you
him.
should.
Yeah.
I think it'd be great. You sit in the background, fart behind him.
If you fuck up the referral stuff and like if I don't get the $500, I'm gonna beat your ass.
Nah, I've already.
And the intentions come through.
I've got 3 people. I got 3 referral bonuses. It fucking rocks. It's the best part about working there.
Oh, Lord.
I can just put it back into it. So what are you doing like in between?
Oh, well, I actually have been door dashing this week.
And that's
I don't need to. Like, I'd be fine.
a fucking flex.
I mean, I don't know. I'm just saying,
I don't
like,
need to.
I mean,
Well, mainly because at your last job you were super depressed and never went out and did anything. So all you did was pay your bills and bank your money.
I mean, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And
That happens.
yeah, so I'm just doing it to,
Maybe you should be more depressed, right?
And maybe.
You're not sad enough.
As it stands, I'm not spending money on dumb shit, though. So I'm doing the same thing as him. It's just we have a lot of bills.
I exclusively
A
spend
lot of
money on
streaming
dumb shit.
services. I need to cut back on streaming services is what it is.
Yeah, but then how do you watch dumb shit?
I don't have time to watch dumb shit. So I'm
yeah.
just paying for streaming services.
You're gonna pay. You think you don't need it, and then like at 2 a.m, your kid's like, "Oh my god, it's not
What
working
happened to
anymore."
Peacock?
Yeah, I can't watch Bluey. I just assume they watch Bluey.
Probably.
The fuck are we talking about?
I don't know.
How we got to Bluey? So you're door dashing,
Yeah.
and you're making as much money as you would.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah,
of
we
money.
talked about that. That
There's a lot of money in that.
yeah, if you've had some like it's good and bad, right?
I mean, yeah, for the most part, it's good, though. Like,
Yeah,
And it's very good money, actually.
especially if you're in the town where you're from. Like right there is, there's not a ton of places to go,
Yeah, there's like
Right.
15 restaurants.
and a lot of them are the same people every day, probably door dashing.
Yeah.
Well, one of the employees I got right now, she works until 5 each day. Shout out, Shannon. Whenever she gets off of work, they go door dashing until like late in the night. And they said there's some days that she literally makes more money than what she does actually working her 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's wild.
Like they actually have like a career goal plan. Me and her's talked about it multiple times. She's like, if I can get to the point where I'm making this much a day, I won't quit the 9 to 5 because I'm literally making more money just driving around, picking up food and dropping it off.
Yeah, and if you have the vehicle to do it, like it's a
I saw like old couples and everything that like literally all they do is just roll around in the evenings together and just talk and just deliver put the food together. And like I was like,
That's what they do. Like one drives and
Changes their life.
one's a driver, one's a runner.
yeah, they were like both like over 70 years old. Like this was just what they did for fun.
They were going to do it anyway.
Yeah, I was like,
drive around bring food anyway.
It's either
Thanks
that or
for the
go
wings.
sit inside Dairy Queen and talk about how good the world was in the 50s. I mean, like they're going to do one of the two.
Don't talk about my dad.
No, that's the double quick. He doesn't make it all the way to Dairy
just
Queen.
because the Dairy Queen, he never got down with that group.
No,
They're not mean enough.
no.
They're just creepy.
not enough leather.
So did you give a notice?
That was my next question.
Oh,
no
but you-
notice. So what was?
That's my fucking favorite.
See,
No
the one thing
notice.
I've
It's
heard about
awesome.
this company a lot is, and this I've heard this from a lot of people that I trust, is that from the top down leadership there is very Mean Girls esque.
Oh shit!
Like Regina George the shit out of it. I don't know if it truly is.
Yeah, I mean, luckily, I didn't experience that firsthand. But yeah, I've heard a lot of horror stories about that, but luckily I didn't know.
They're pretty. So me and you talked about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put you on the spot here.
Yeah.
Because I asked about it. I'm like, is it as bad as I've heard and things like that? And you're like, God, my boss is so hateful.
Yeah, she is. She was. But after a while, I don't know happened in like her personal life, but after a while, she kind of loosened up for everybody.
Yeah. Also, your bosses
getting
are
ready to
usually
quit.
hateful because they fucking hate their job too.
I mean, yeah.
Like that's really like you've been there, right? You've been every level of that, so you fucking know that you're just like, hey, if I'm in a bad mood, it's because my job sucks. Right? That's why I'm mad.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry, I'm taking it out on you. You never did that though.
no, I didn't do that when I was a boss.
You just didn't talk to anybody.
No,
You're in
I
a bad
didn't
mood.
do anything.
You're in a bad mood. Okay, that's pretty true.
Yeah.
So what was the response when you went in, no notice, and just said, I'm fucking done?
Well, not as bad as you would think, actually. They were just like, "Oh, that's cool. That's fine.
All right.
We're gonna send you like the stuff to send your stuff back to us. Like, here's a box, and we want your computer. But hey, whenever you want to come back, just send us an email."
Really?
Or then, like the next day. All right, I guess I'll do it. Shit.
So like no retention effort at all outside of, hey, you can come back later. They didn't try to talk you into it or anything like that?
I mean, not like
Well,
immediate, but like they
it's
were
not
just like,
totally true because he had been trying to quit for a little bit,
yeah,
and he had threatened it
yeah,
for a little bit, and they tried to make your life better, right? They were
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
gave you a day off or something, and like
A day off.
I don't know what they did, but they
Singular.
did something that seemed like it sufficed at the moment
Yeah,
for
it was-
Edward
it was
for
a day
his
off,
yeah, which awesome, thanks. Here's the day off, and ultimately didn't matter.
no, we didn't.
I'm so glad. I'm so happy about it. I don't know why I'm happy about people putting financial strain on themselves, but it excites me for
Living
some reason.
vicariously through him.
I am. Anybody who quits their job, that's what I told him. As soon as he texted me, he was like, I fucking quit. I'm not going to work. I quit.
I don't know what it is.
I love you. I'm so jealous.
I am so incredibly sketched out about the place. I don't know what it is. I honestly don't, because I know it's very
Because
eerily
it's a call
similar.
center?
Well, it's very eerily similar to what we already do, or what he did with the previous work that I worked with. It's just more hands on with the product instead of.
It's all the same. Like, no matter where you're going, like, everybody leaves one call center to go to another call center. I was like, it's just going to be just as shitty. Just get out of the industry. Like, I know we had the episode about call centers, and that was, something we touched on was you should just get out of it because it's terrible. They're all the same.
Oh, it's horrible
Right.
for mental health.
Yeah, they're
There
all the
is
same.
no mental health
You're
in
like,
the
I'm going
call
to go to this
center
one. It's probably going to be better. And like I said, I think I work at like the creme de la creme call center, and it's still a call center. There's call center shit goes on. Like, there's, changes that are happening in the company that are like so call center-esque and make morale suck because those changes are going on.
I remember like 2 weeks ago, you're like, I'm probably going to quit. I'm like, why? They're completely changing the whole entire phone system. I was like, is it for the worst? I don't know.
No, it's probably not
Like, is
for the
it
worst.
good,
It's just,
bad? I don't know. I'm just going to fucking quit. I'm
don't
like,
you
you've not
get it,
tried
though?
it.
Don't you get it, though?
Oh, I get it. Like, literally, I was in charge of rolling out a whole entire
and
shift.
especially, we don't have any, like, everybody that works for Field has been there, like, 10 or 15 years. And that they've used the same phone system the entire time.
Yeah.
So, like, it's those people that are going to have a hard time. Like, it's whatever. I'll do whatever. I don't care. Right? As long as I can still, if I lose control of being able to decline a phone call, I'm probably going to quit. That's pretty honest.
These people could see me though. That was
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
I forgot
See,
about
now
that.
I didn't know that. So that's
That
the
makes me want to
consulting side
vomit.
of it.
Does that make you want to vomit?
So explain that.
Well, I had to look like a person every day, right? Which was hard.
And work from home.
Yeah.
So it was the worst of both worlds.
Yeah, because I want to roll out of bed and look like a gremlin and sit down in front of this camera, right? But
And
couldn't do that.
if you've not seen Edward, he has the most killer fucking beard.
I would say
It's beautiful. Yeah.
yeah,
It's beautiful. But it's not right when you wake up.
no, it's terrible. Just me in general.
I feel like we need to take a picture. Me and him having like a great
Yeah,
beard
we'll-
off pole.
Yep. Follow us on Instagram and you see some pictures. We'll post them on there.
So, like, when you're doing this, is it just like, did you set up like an office background, or is it like chroma key, like set up like that way?
It was the real generic, like the blurred one. Like you could see the colors and stuff of it, but you couldn't see.
So just like the
like
blurred
the
background.
And it's like accounting shit, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like the real like accounting shit.
yeah, like the hardcore stuff.
So with the consulting
I'm
piece
off
of
it.
it, like how many
I'm off
different
it.
people did you have to like? Did you have like a standard like book of business, like a X amount of clients that you worked for?
Kind of. It was kind of project based, so like it could last. Like one project could last for weeks, and then we'd get somebody else and but I was doing like 12 projects at a time.
And I've seen the freaking pricing on these things.
No.
It's well,
We're off it.
like my billable time was $150 an hour.
Yeah.
Did I make that much? Absolutely not.
No.
We're off it. I'm off it.
Hell no.
My billable time is probably like.
I literally know what the billable time is for my team, and it's not that.
Right.
But also, my team also does the same shit that you did
Yeah.
for free for these people.
Yeah.
And he's charging $150 an hour. So it's like, yeah. Like I've seen some, like I have actually seen invoicing come through. Like $20,000, $30,000 these people are getting charged for the project work that they're doing. Yeah. I'm like, how do you even have that much money to set up a freaking accounting software?
Andy P talked to me earlier about something that.
Yeah. So I'm curious because, everybody here has got more time in call centers than I do. Like, just how often do you think you were part of a crime? Like, did you
Except the accounting work you're doing and shit, like
some part in embezzlement or some kind of fraud?
All the time.
Because I
I
can
think
remember
that too.
specifically.
On both
I think
sides, of, like where he worked at, where we work at, it's untelling how much you've been impartial to, like not even know about it.
I can remember like one specific call in training where it was a grocery store in New Jersey, right? The most generic, like, hey, Tony kind of stuff happening in the background. And, we're on a screen share and everything. And one of the first things they told us whenever, we were training is, hey, you got their address, look them up on Google, get some street view, just kind of familiarize yourself with the surroundings, kind of get to know your customers. So I can see this rinky-dink shit place here with the fish stands out front and everything. But whenever they've got their bank account up, they've got like $1.6 million in there. And I'm like,
yeah,
okay, all right.
they're in Jersey. There's multiple people named Tony in the room.
Yeah. Hey, the spice guy's here, but you tell him that the boss is making his own spice, and I'm just sitting there like, hell yeah.
They also run a paving business in the background. And
Pest control.
Are they involved in trash disposal?
So I'm just wondering how often things like that come up.
I definitely think I have. Actually, just know I have. Like, because like I see like gardening business, like not gardening businesses, but like literally like flower drop shipping. They have like $200 million.
Yeah, I worked with a company once that had like 28 employees, and their annual revenue was like $500 million, like billion with a B.
Oh.
I'm like, this is some illegal stuff.
Something's happening.
Yeah.
Either this is something terrible, or I should get involved with this company. And
I was on the fence about it, honestly.
yeah, it's like the whole time, like, really enjoy your work. Okay, well, I can come work for
Are
you.
you hiring?
Yeah, seems great. I'm trying to quit my job right now.
well, it's kind of like you alluded to on last week's episode, where every like grocery or no, what was it? It's every grocery or something like that around here, not grocery store, but like the ones out on the side of the road that sells pumpkins, produce places are all drug friends. Right.
Yeah.
So, no, I mean, it's the same thing that you're really kind of alluding to.
Yeah.
Like, that grocery store is like,
Oh, yeah.
especially if like they're yelling, hey, Tony, in the background.
It's an affront for something. It's for sure.
Yeah. And I guarantee that happens all the time. Like, there's like, I don't know how many times where I got stuck on calls where I was helping someone that was getting audited.
Right.
Like, you help them, but you don't ask them why they're being audited.
God,
Yeah.
I do.
Don't.
I love to ask that question.
I never did.
Oh, I do it all the time.
Yeah, that's anything. Because the government's a motherfucker. Is that what they always say?
No, they would always launch into these big, like, dramatic stories about people. I had no idea who they were talking about, but I still wanted to know all the details. I wanted all the juicy details on that.
Yeah, it's weird stuff when you're screwing with people's accounting. Like, it's really weird.
So with the one that you just quit, like, I know you said you had a billable rate and things like that, and fuck the whole camera nonsense. I don't think anybody wants to look at me while they're talking to me on the phone. But like, as you're working,
I think it's right.
yeah, it's 100% correct. As you're working through all of this and everything, like, did you put in 8-hour days, or did this where you were salaried and you said you had like 12 projects going at one time? How many
plead the
hours
fifth.
a week were you dumping into
You can
this?
plead the fifth, but we're just going to ask the question again.
It was a lot.
I don't want to hear a lot. I want numbers. How many hours a week was you dumping into this shit?
For the last like month though, I did my 8 hours a day and that was it. And I didn't care if anything.
We were
wrong.
checked out.
Yeah. But before that, I was easily doing at least 10 hours a day. But there were a lot of days where it was more than that.
So 50, 60 hours a
and
week.
Weekends also.
No, I'm off it. I'm off it. I'm off everything. I'm off the whole thing.
Because when you're doing A, when you're salary, and B, when you do primarily project work, it's like, okay, here's all this work, but you can only do it in this amount of time. Even though we know it's going to take you way longer than that. You know, wink, wink, you have to do this in addition to your 40 hours a week.
Yeah. And you loved it.
No, yeah,
Well, I mean, I'm sure they freaking eat that up because as long as you're working and it's billable work,
yeah,
they're making bank off of you.
Yeah.
Off of that model. So which kind of brings me back. Like I've heard of some people being let go because they didn't have enough billable work for them, which makes no sense to me because you're being encouraged to work 50, 60 hours a week. And then I've heard others the other way around. They're like, we don't have enough billable work for you, but we're aggressively ramping to 250 heads by the end of the month. Like, something's not jiving. That's why I'm incredibly sketched out by the place. Like,
I mean, it doesn't make sense, but like, I think they just kind of used it as like a generic excuse because, like, they technically don't have to say why, right? They can, just be like,
they can do whatever they want.
Yeah.
right to work.
Why do you want to get fired? Do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Hey, Unpaid Lunch listeners. This episode is brought to you by Pampers Chewable Diapers. All the convenience of a disposable diaper and an eco-friendly option. They're made from 100% real vegetable fiber, so cleanup is a breeze. Pampers Chewables are super absorbent and super delicious. They come in great flavors like spicy cheddar, tangy tomato, and creamy crab. Pampers Chewables are all great taste and no waste. Pampers Chewables, the choice of mothers everywhere, especially Mother Nature. Now back to the show. Welcome back into Unpaid Lunch. We're back here with Edward in studio. We're going to talk about the notices, like a 2 weeks notice. Have you gave a 2 weeks notice?
What were we kind of talking about here is I've given like a 6 weeks notice before and got fucked for it, like royally.
Yeah.
Like I've talked about this on a previous episode, but
Not
I literally,
surprised. Yeah.
I let Walmart know like
remember.
6 weeks ahead of time that I was going back to school, and then I'm
Yeah.
literally blacklisted and can't work there ever again because they said I never gave one.
Yeah, that did. I mean, I don't think it counts.
Not surprised.
I technically,
Are you surprised at anything Walmart does? Are you surprised at all, Andrew?
No.
Whatever they did.
listen, he says that, but he'll start working there again in like 5 days.
I doubt that one's serious.
Well, I'm still waiting on that episode. Like,
give it
we were
time.
getting there.
I gotta structure that out.
We're gonna find more people though. We're gonna have like
Walmart
just
day.
we're gonna have a full episode of just segments. Like we're gonna talk to like 15 different people.
Live from Bentonville.
They're a fan of me from there, I've heard.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they're a fan of you in Whitesburg, except for oops.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh no, it was Bentonville that swung the axe.
They laid
yeah.
the hammer down. Yeah. It came from Walton U.
Did you when you quit Walmart? Did you give a notice?
Never. Hell no.
It's the best.
That's what I'm
feeling.
saying. Like I was surprised when they hired me back. The third time I wouldn't have. I was on borrowed time anyway.
Yeah, you were like, I applied for Walmart today. I'm pretty confident I'm not gonna get that job.
Can't believe this shit's happening.
So I think the whole entire concept of a 2 weeks notice is incredibly interesting. And I think it really just kind of comes down to what type of role you have within the company that you're working for. Because I have seen leaders, like people that lead other folks, managers, put in the notice and they're immediately just gone, dead.
Yeah.
Like, no, you're not working at all. Not happening. And what you end up finding out later on is like, well, they were afraid that if that leader stayed in place, it would damage morale. You're going to cause retention.
No, we touched
issues
on that
with the people
before,
you got.
but that's dumb, right?
It's stupid. I mean, because I've seen some of the most loyal employees I've ever seen in my life, like people that I would have considered irreplaceable, like stalwarts of the business, like just, we don't need you for 2 weeks, bye,
Yeah.
go. But then I've also, here's the thing that's the kicker though, is if it's someone that's actually functionally getting paid or generating money for the business. Leaders are an expense on a business.
Yeah.
Or at least in my line of work, we don't generate revenue.
Right.
Therefore, we are incredibly easily replaced.
Yeah.
Like,
That makes sense.
if something happens and they need us to go, fine, whatever. We're not causing any kind of cash flow issues. But whereas someone I'm managing, they have a dollar attached to it.
Yeah.
So they submit the 2 weeks notice. They're like, can you give us 4? Because at that point, they don't want to give up the money generation, or at least in my work. And I've seen it with other, places, business as well. It depends on how important you are to generating money.
Yeah.
And that's what it ultimately boils
Yeah,
down
but I still don't like.
And how many people you've got moving through your doors? Because if you got such a high turnover rate, you don't really care if somebody quits in 2 weeks or 2 hours. I've seen people get replaced that day.
Yeah.
If their position gets open, they're filled.
Edward
Who
was
cares
my
if it's 2
boss
weeks?
at the last job that I quit.
I was.
And how surprised were you that I worked 2 weeks?
Oh, I was pretty shocked.
Okay.
You put in a 2 weeks notice and worked it out?
Yeah, but I didn't. All right.
I mean, to be fair,
I didn't really do a lot of work,
Yeah.
but also I didn't do a lot of work anyway. So it's not like I
Status
was like,
quo.
yeah, it's not like a lot was different. I don't even think anybody probably noticed. Like, it was like,
didn't. I mean, you know.
Dusty's not doing any more work this week. That's just how it always is.
I definitely used to have a different viewpoint on it. Like, and then I think you guys, a lot of this is attributed to you guys. But like over time, especially I've been looking at content and things like that. Like I try to create stuff for the TikTok and everything else. And I'm watching all of these people putting 2 weeks notices and just
At
getting
unpaid lunch on TikTok.
shafted by the people that they work for. Like screwed.
Yeah.
So like as time has went along, I'm like, when time comes for me to move on from where I'm at, I don't know that the 2 weeks notice is going to be there.
No, I mean, I think it's bogus anyway, right? It's like, I think the idea was you're going to so that they have time to replace you, but that doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah.
That doesn't matter anymore.
And also it's like leave on good standing. They have time to replace you. It's like you leave on good standing, you come back. Dude,
Yeah.
If I'm quitting,
I just look at you because you have to leave on good standing. It's fucking
at
obvious
all.
you have to leave in good standing.
Not at all.
And
I left with the bitch on fire a few times.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh,
You know how many
cool,
people
here's the
I've
best.
seen or I have marked, not even the job I'm at now, and previous jobs that I've held in retail and other things where I've marked them as non-rehirable
Yo,
and had them back
like,
5 weeks later.
people who were fired for borderline sexual assault,
Oh, yeah.
get their jobs back.
Yeah.
Like shit that you're like, what? How are they working here?
Yeah.
Like people blow up and threaten to kill everybody. And then it's and then that person gets their job back. It's like, you know why? Because training people costs money. I don't have to train that person.
Well, I'm a very proud
why-
person.
Yeah.
Like, my pride is more important to me than any dollar amount in the world. And having seen what
God, we
happened,
could not be any further opposite there.
listen, I'm weird. I'm a man of principle.
I'll shit my hand for $100.
But I'll shit in your hand for $100 right now. That might help me get a vehicle fixed. But watching people literally get pulled out after they put their 2 weeks notice in, they're like, we don't need you anymore. If that happened to me, I would burn the fucking building down.
Yeah.
That's where the pride kicks in. I'm like, I'll just go ahead and just
Yeah.
not leave that notice.
Yeah.
Because if I do it and you come out and you make a
Shouldn't have took your stapler.
nah. Ugh.
That's my
I've
favorite.
literally watched that movie 3 times. in the
That's my
last
favorite
week.
movie. Oh, no
Case
joke.
of the
I
Mondays.
told my boss at work. Yeah, I told my boss, I was like, hey, I'm in this thing now where I'm watching Office Space twice a week. And I think it might be real unhealthy for my job. I was
That's like you were talking about a while ago about how you just
not
did
now,
not give
Lumberg.
a
I'm
fuck.
busy.
You're like, I don't give a shit about my job, da da da. And I'm just sitting here thinking, literally, while we're doing this episode, I'm like, he's in that trance, and then that person died, and it didn't get broken.
I really do feel like when he's like, I don't think I'm gonna go back to my job. I don't like it very much. It's like, what are you gonna do? I don't think I'm gonna do anything. It's like, I kind of like that. Why can't that just be a thing?
There's so
be
many
your mantra.
quotables from that movie.
Yeah, hopefully in the future we can just do an episode about movies and quitting scenes in movies. 'Cause there's a lot of really good quitting scenes in movies.
You would think Office Space would be up there, but I've got 2 movies ahead of that.
Yeah, I have some
specific
too.
scenes.
Well, Office Space, he doesn't. I mean, like he doesn't really quit.
No.
Like he never
He
really
don't.
quits.
He gets promoted. Doesn't
Yeah, he gets promoted.
Yeah.
Yeah. So listen, no joke. I legitimately like, and my boss's management style is different than most people's. And I literally told her that my main motivation for doing my job is so that I don't have to have meetings with managers. That's it. There's no reason. Like I'm
It's
not trying
literally
to.
Office Space. I love it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to satisfy. Like I'm not trying to do the best work ever. I just whatever. Like, what stats do you need me to hit to not talk to me the whole month? Not have a Zoom meeting. What do you need me to do? That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm not going to do any more than that. But tell me what I need to do to not meet with me anymore about it.
I mean, it's fair.
That's how I feel about it all the time. I just because, like I said, I don't want to be. I just want to go to work.
Well, the worst thing than that is also like
Come on.
when they pull you into the Zoom meetings and it could have 100% been handled by a fucking email.
Yo, you think Zoom did COVID?
That was my entire life.
Probably. Zoom launched COVID.
Hashtag Zoom
patented.
did COVID.
That was the last 2-week notice I put in, because I got COVID, which was also conveniently a 2-week.
Oh yeah, yeah, COVID. I'm gonna go ahead and get my notice. Also, I have COVID, which I have to have 14 days off work. So
How much money did Zoom make in
I'm
2020,
telling you,
2021?
Zoom
It's a lot.
hashtag Zoom did COVID.
Yeah, it was a lot.
They had to immediately. Well, and I guess Teams too, but Teams was already like companies use Teams anyway.
Blue Jeans had died at this point.
Yeah,
Blue Jeans, I don't even know if you remember Blue Jeans, but it used to be
I
the
was
prevalent
literally
thing.
trying. I was like, "What the fuck?" COVID happened. Nobody bought blue jeans anymore.
Nah, there was actually a service called Blue Jeans that was big. Like a lot of the client that I work for, that's what they used for a long time until they adopted Zoom. Right about the time COVID happened. Like I'm telling you, now that y'all bring it up, it's really fucking fishy.
I don't know if this conspiracy exists
Oh, we're
already.
100% getting that fucking COVID tag.
I don't know. I don't
this
know if this
episode.
exists already, but it feels a whole lot like Zoom did COVID. Was it worth it?
I love how we went from 2 weeks notice to like the biggest conspiracy theory ever.
'Cause-
but I mean, honestly though, that was my whole life. Like this meeting could have been an email. Was my entire life at my last job.
yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know somebody else who works there, and that's what they say too. Is it's like there's just meetings all the time. That's like, why can't?
Yeah.
There's something about my job. They send a lot of emails that are just like, it's great that we don't have to meet about this.
Oh yeah,
So-
I would always try to get out of meetings.
Yeah.
Cancel them for
Be
no
busy.
reason. Yeah,
Sorry, I was not there. I was stuck on.
yeah, doing
Like-
something else.
I was definitely busy.
But it's like, yeah, do these 10 to 12 hours of meetings today, but also do all this other work that you have to do. All in
So
the
if
meeting.
you've got 12 different projects where you're supposed to be on camera smiling,
yeah,
no wonder you were working weekends.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't imagine 2 weeks notice there would be like even useful for anybody because it's
Yeah.
going to be on your face that you're like, hey, I don't give. And the type of work that you
I didn't
do,
even think about that part.
and the
That's a
type
good
of
bring
work
up.
that you do is like,
Yeah.
if you're not invested in it, then it's fucking no reason to do that. Like, it's not like giving a 2 weeks notice at the fucking gas station. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Nobody's invested in
And I mean,
lottery
hon-
tickets.
And honestly, it didn't work out that well anyway. Because if you do project work, you can't.
Oh, right. You
feel like
can't
in a-
really grab one.
Yeah, it's
Like
like
in a 6-week project, but I'm going to give a 2-week notice in
Yeah.
it, and I'm going
Yeah.
to give my best for those 2 weeks for sure. Then I'm not going to
Yeah,
give a fuck
that's
about the
getting
other 4 weeks.
tanked.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
that's getting tanked. I just
So it is interesting to me, and like it's also awesome that what we're driving home is like, you know, we're full of shit most of the time about everything, but it's like really where we're at with the whole thing is like, don't just work to work and be miserable all the fucking time.
oh yeah.
Right. And that's where we're at. And that's kind of, you know, and that's what we drive home. I mean, it's, you know, it's all shit and what we talk about, you know, but
That was the immediate thing that me and Edward talked about the date. So to set the stage, this is what was fantastic. Like we talked about earlier, Edward messaged me that morning and said, I'm thinking about quitting my job today. I'm done. I was like, okay. What was one of the first questions I asked? 2 weeks notice.
yeah. Did you? Get
That was one of the
notice?
first things I said, 2 weeks notice. And you're like, I don't really know if I should or not. And then the very next thing that I said is my rule of thumb on a 2 weeks notice. Do you need the income?
yeah.
Can you guarantee that you're going to get the 2 weeks and get the income? Like if you need it.
And I told him that I could probably get him the job. Like,
Yeah,
that
so there's that component as well. But like, if you can guarantee that you're going to get it, and you have the ability to work it out and you 100% need it to where it's not going to fuck your bills up.
Or if, like he said, he was going to sustain with DoorDash like for a little while because it's like comfortable doing something and not miserable working your own schedule.
Yep. At that point, I 100% support working out the 2 weeks notice though. Because it's on a case-by-case situation. Like, if you're, like, going to end up giving up an apartment or something because you don't have that 2 weeks, work the 2 weeks.
Yeah.
If you have a nest egg like you do, fuck it. No.
Like,
Scorched earth, torch it, get the fuck out.
All seriousness, no fucks, really, not a bit, like, super glad that you didn't stick around and be miserable there. And it feels good that, like, to know that we had, not anything major to do with it, but, let you know that it's like, really, people shouldn't just be about work. Yeah. That's what people shouldn't be about. And that's what everybody's fucking about. And that's really what made us want to do the podcast is everybody seems to just be about work all the time. And that's it. And like nothing else. Like, man, if I want to miss on a Saturday because I want to see one of my kids' baseball games and I'm supposed to work, I'm just going to fucking miss. Right? Yeah. Because, like, you're going to replace me or that job's still going to be there, right? But
I'm not only going to be 12 for 1 year.
I'm not going to see that fucking game again, right?
That's another thing that's really hooked into me lately.
Yeah, and I can't just sit there and, like, sit at work being, like, doing, something that a robot could do. Or if I called in, it doesn't matter anyway because somebody else is going to take that call. Like, and nobody's watching my kid play.
That's another thing I'm pissed off about. We were a part of a meeting, all of us were, about 3 years ago, where, Big Dad, you know what I'm talking about, from Tampa came in and told us that we were about to get hit by
fucking awesome.
We were going to get hit by the biggest robot uprising in the world in our industry. Where's the fucking robots?
Where are the robots?
Like, where is Will Smith blowing shit up?
Was
like,
he talking about
these robots?
Was he talking about ChatGPT?
Oh, I think so. Yeah,
probably.
It's there.
It's there.
It's on your Snapchat. Everywhere.
Well, fuck that update. Fuck that
Still
update.
to this day,
that update ruined my life.
This is the one thing.
I don't even know what it is.
I think Edward may remember this. You do not. And I apologize for anyone that hears this. But that was also...
This is not top 3 things bad to say on a podcast. I apologize for anyone who has to hear this.
No, it was fantastic. Never in my life in a corporate setting, in a room where there's a stage where the main head of the company is giving basically a corporate address. There's 400 people in there, and I look over and I see a dude getting a hand job.
Dude, I was getting ready to say, dude was getting jerked off.
Dude was getting a handy on that floor. I'm like, man, this robot talk's really got them spicy.
I had Ron Burgundy moment, though. I was like, not even mad. I'm impressed.
I mean, I was impressed.
I was impressed because it wasn't like a particularly dark room. It was just they put half the building and pushed all the chairs against the wall and everyone put a stage up and everybody just sat there and the dude just got a hand job in the crowd. I don't know.
It was something else.
He probably still fucking works there.
I did not forget about that.
I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Remember now?
I do.
Yeah, it was something else.
There was all kinds of shit went on in that. Anytime the CEO of the fucking company that comes and rolls in with just more bullshit than anybody's ever believed, everything he said, like the big managers, I don't care to rat them out. Everybody, like the big fucking bosses, were standing in the back of the room, like, so full of shit. What is he talking about? Like, we don't believe anything he's saying. It's like, yeah, this is the first time he's ever done this.
I mean, he walked in with like a Dolce & Gabbana duffel bag or whatever.
Yeah.
Or no, it was a Louis Vuitton duffel bag. And it's like, bro, we make like $15 an hour.
It's fucking rocking it.
Get fucking mobbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you guys for doing everything for us.
Like corporate bootlicker or not, like everybody's like, oh my God, I need a picture. I'm like, I do not need a picture with this person at all whatsoever. Can I just go back to hating my life and doing my freaking job?
It feels good that we've turned you a little bit too, like.
Oh, it's very slowly happening.
That we turned you to be like, now you're like, you know what? I don't think people should give a 2 weeks notice. That sounds stupid. The whole theory behind it. I know that's kind of a thing that's been streaming on TikTok and stuff or that people have been looking at on TikTok and stuff is the 2 weeks notice and why not to fucking give one.
I just like you see some of these things and they're just like explosively bad situations. My favorite video I saw, it's like, hey, I need this 2 weeks notice in writing. And they just literally write, I quit. I'm like a piece of paper, folded up, put it on their desk. I'm like, I need you in my office. Like, what are we going to do? Take my freaking birthday? I've already quit.
I'd just mail them a letter and delay it 2 weeks.
I've already quit. Like, it's like when I left GameStop, I think I gave like 3 weeks there. And like I've told you guys before how freaking job scared I was there. I was terrified that any given second they were going to come in there and say, bye. We don't need you anymore. And it's not worth that stress. Like, if you have the financial wherewithal, screw it.
Yeah. I also think like something kind of serious is like doing your retirement shit. Mm-hmm. And like places not wanting you to be aggressive because they want you to stick around forever. Like, don't be aggressive with it. But there's so many like aggressive retirement plans that like numbers show that that's the way you should do shit. That's like super aggressive, putting a ton of money into it, and you can retire in 10 years if things work out. Like, if things don't work out and everything crashes, you're fucked. But like, there's a ton of ways that you can look into.
And then you just drive your car off the bridge like we were talking about earlier.
I mean,
the intrusive thoughts come back.
Yeah, my retirement plan is to wade into the ocean. So,
well, I mean, you want to kill yourself when you're working anyway. So, you might as well, put all your money into stocks and hope you make them and you're able to retire, or put all your money into, Dogecoin or, unpaid lunch Patreon or.
He said wade into the water. I'm so fat. I'm just like a buoy. Like, I couldn't go out that way. I would float for all eternity.
I'm hoping for solar flares or World War III.
You want World War III so bad. You just want to.
Well,
you want to hide. You want to be a Wolverine so bad.
Life gets easier.
Well, it's like you watch all these, Walking Dead and all these other survivalist shows. Like, you're trying to survive the apocalypse.
He had a good Quentin story.
My wife, literally, that's what she said earlier. She's like, if the world ends, like pandemic, like overtakes everything.
Yeah, your job gonna want your ass to come in though.
Mine's gonna ask me to come in, but she said 100%. Like, if zombie apocalypse happens, I don't want to survive.
No, I'm immediately.
I want to die.
I'm gonna walk.
Like,
into the
I want to
nearest
quit the ultimate job and quit life right there on the spot. Like, I do not want to do that.
no.
Why? She's
That's
like, I
where it
don't want to
starts
live
for
without
me.
air conditioning. Fuck that.
I'm a kid in a damn candy store. That'd be fun.
Good luck, y'all. I'm walking straight into this crowd of zombies here.
I don't want to be a zombie either. Like,
Andrew
I'm
Ultra,
doing a toe tap special somewhere with a.
Andrew Ultra preps for it. He recently got 2 like guard dogs that he's just training every day that just live with him and walk. They're going to walk with him. They look like apocalypse dogs. They look like dogs you would have in the apocalypse.
I thought you were going to say he's training the snails.
So you're not able to fuck with him when he's got an army of snails and dogs and potato launchers.
Yep.
You can shoot infinite potatoes at people.
Go to Andrew's house.
I got you.
He's always got it.
No, he doesn't. He hates people. Don't go to Andrew's house.
Don't come to my house. You can drive by my house, but don't stop there.
Like 6 people have ever been in his house. 2 of them are his parents.
Fair
They
enough.
don't come around.
Edward, man, we've had a great time.
Yeah, me too.
Appreciate you coming on. Glad we could inspire you
Yeah,
to
appreciate it.
do what you want and find something else and go be miserable in another job for a little while, and then we can cycle back around.
Yeah, I mean, probably less miserable, but yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
Never ending cycle. Yeah.
Rhino's gonna work tomorrow. He's gonna be miserable. So
I'm already miserable. I'm just thinking about it.
Andy P's gonna work tomorrow. He's gonna be miserable.
I'm fine. I'm off at 4 o'clock. You can only be so miserable.
I'm off at 4 o'clock too, but I'm still miserable right now thinking about it.
Yeah,
Monday
I'm off
suck.
tomorrow.
Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Fuck you.
it's okay. You guys make sure you leave a comment, leave a like, subscribe to us, check out all the social medias. You can find us on Instagram at Unpaid Lunch and TikTok Unpaid Lunch Podcast. Pretty much anywhere you're gonna find that. If you Google it or anything, you'll be able to find that stuff. Go check out our Patreon. We got exclusive content on there. If you want to become a patron, we post some pretty cool stuff on there sometimes. But yeah, just go like, share, comment, do everything. You guys got anything for the hustlers?
Don't leave a 2 weeks notice.
Don't fucking leave a notice.
Don't do it. Yeah, just
Fucking
quit
leave a
now.
notice. Love it. I'm so happy about it. Hey, remember, y'all, ain't nobody stopping you from quitting your job but you.